What does it mean to be a person in the 21st century? When I sat down to brainstorm for this project, I struggled to come up with an answer. Towards the beginning of the course, I worked on my response to the question of what does it mean to be a person, but the addition of in the 21st century really threw me for a loop. I couldn't decide whether my answer was still adequate or if the specification should change everything. So I did what I always do whenever a tough question confuses me. I asked my friends.
Hey Ryan, what's up?
Hey, Steven. Hey, Braden.
Hey, let me get my camera working one sec. Just doing something.
Cool. What does it mean to be a person in the 21st century?
How much time do I have?
Dang, hitting me with the hard-hitting questions. All right. Let me think.
I think a person in the 21st century is a continuation of your self-identity. And if that identity is something that's done through social media or something that's done by your own individual actions, so be it. But that's what it means to be a person in the 21st century. It's what you identify, it's what you are to everyone else. That's your identity. That's what it means to be a person in the 21st century.
So how much role do you think social media has to play in
Oh, I see I segued very smoothly into that. I think it has an increasingly prevalent role in what it means to be a person. I think identity is shaped a lot by social media, but there were also social media type things before. I think it's just another way of expressing oneself. It's just becoming more and more part of our lives, and as it does, it takes more and more precedence into what our identity is.
I mean, I suppose to be a person in the 21st century is to have some sort of presence, whether it be minimum or, as big as, say, like, as minimum as just being someone on the street or as big as, like, being the president, say.
that?
And I think what makes a person, besides having some sort of presence, is how other people perceive your presence and what kind of power they give that.
When you say a presence, do you think you can have as much of a presence, either less or even more, on social media as you do in person?
Oh, I'd definitely say so. I mean, we can look at all the cool social media platforms that everyone uses: YouTube, Twitter, Facebook, etc., etc. PewDiePie, I'm just going to use him as an example. Biggest YouTuber, lots of presence on YouTube, very influential on the website. But then, say you stick him on the street, not everyone's going to know who he is. He's not going to have as much of a presence, in person than, say, on YouTube.
Do you believe that having or knowing more people in person is somehow more real or true to yourself, or do you believe that social media is
The
more so that,
definitive.
or that there's no difference?
Oh. Well, I mean, personally, I think there is no difference.
No difference.
Well, actually, there's a little bit of a difference. I'd say, I mean, it's just as easy to be a, quote unquote, a fake person in real life as it is to be a fake person online. You could easily, in real life, not be who you truly are. Same thing like online. You could easily just put on a persona, and you could be someone completely different. I would say, though, that it's a lot easier to distinguish real from fake in real life, because obviously, you're talking to a person face to face, and with extended time with talking to that person, you'll figure out what's more real, what's not as real. Online, someone could put on a persona, and you could think that they're like that, they've been like that their entire lives.
Stephen and Braden's answers seemed quite different, as Stephen stated that having an identity is a requirement of being a person, and this identity is based on how others perceive you. Meanwhile, Braden believes that one must have some kind of impact or presence in the lives of others in order to be a person. What their ideas hold in common is that they both believe that being a person in the 21st century requires some form of recognition by others. This brings me to my answer. Being a person in the 21st century means that you are recognized by others as being such. In a sense, this definition could be true regardless of the point in history. However, the means by which people go about being recognized by others is drastically different today than it ever has been, as people's lives are put on display, both intentionally and unintentionally, to the entire world through the internet and social media. This means that for the first time in human history, a person can be recognized and have their identity shaped by anyone, anywhere, and anytime. Thank you. This has been my project. Have a nice day or night or whatever you're grading this, Steve. I'll include a couple fun little bloopers of the interviews.
I'm doing a video interview. Hold on. Damn it, this always happens. It's okay, you can't hear me. This guy's a total asshole. Ryan, I really hope you're not recording it right now.
I can edit it out.
Donald Trump, and Donald Trump's